They actually did it, y'all. They actually did it. We're talking about Space Jam: A New Legacy on HBO Max and in theaters. Time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by WeAreCritics.com, a place where we talk about movies, television, and pop culture. And if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe key and that notification bell so you can be up to speed about everything that I talk about here. Now, I have just had the opportunity to see Space Jam: A New Legacy. I did not get the chance to see it early, but I did get a chance to see it, and that's what matters. And I want to talk about it with y'all because before I get into what I thought about it, let's talk about the legacy of this thing, what it's about, where does it come from. So, Space Jam Legacy is, aka Space Jam 2, is the sequel to, I believe it was '96 version that came out starring Michael Jordan, another NBA All Star superstar, if you will, greatest of all time. But this one is more updated, more digitally enhanced, and it stars LeBron James, Don Cheadle, and a slew of other new actors that we're going to get into in a bit. It's directed by Malcolm D. Little, who's known for the Best Man series. That's the Best Man Holiday, and then they have the upcoming Best Man's Wedding with Taye Diggs, and he also did Night School with Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. And a bunch of other stuff. And it's produced by LeBron James. I know he has a production company coming out, or it's been out, but he has a few projects under his belt, such as I believe he's redoing House Party, and just announced he's supposedly doing a Friday the 13th. Yeah, LeBron James. I'm interested in that because I love the horror stuff. But Space Jam: A New Legacy. Cedric Joe, great young actor. Plays LeBron's son in this. Now, although this is based on a real life character, LeBron, none of the situation outside of the fact that he has 3 children in real life, 2 boys, 1 girl, everything in this film is fictional. Names and faces have been changed. So his real family is not in this movie. Space Jam Legacy follows LeBron after his son is digitally kidnapped by an operating system, an AI played by Don Cheadle by the name of Algorithm, like algorithm, and LeBron has to get him back, and the only way he can get him back is if he plays a game of basketball against Don Cheadle. What did I think about this? Because it's been highly anticipated, and from the jump, a lot of people have been hating on this thing and just not giving it its roses simply because they feel as though it ruins their childhood memory of what they remember about the original. I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that I think I like part 2 better. Let me tell you why, because there are a ton of reasons why I enjoy part 2. Space Jam 1 is great. It is good. Don't get me wrong. Michael Jordan, he stepped out of his comfort zone and he did something that a lot of athletes weren't doing at the time outside of Shaq. And I commend him for that. It was fun. Very, made for the kids. It wasn't made for adults, so it wasn't for us to understand. Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. Besides art design, because we'll get into that too, storyline wise, nostalgia, the writing, the story, it's not like this grand old plot that is deep. You deep dive in and it twists and turns and plays on your brain. It is written for children, and they amused me thoroughly. I was entertained through this entire movie, and they gave enough for us adults to hold on to and point things out. Like if you're watching this with your kid, you're going to be like, look, that's such and such. That's such and such. This is such and such. So, and they pay respects to the original. There's even a scene in the beginning where, they show the Rasta, the original Rasta, when Bugs is trying to put the team together, and they're all wearing the classic jersey. So right there, off rip, you're like, oh, they really did their thing. Like they did not sway away from what we knew just to bring in the brand new version of this. They really latched on to the past without latching on too much. Great callbacks, great jokes. There's even a Michael Jordan joke in there that I know a lot of people are gonna know. You'll see it coming, but it still makes you smile. Like that's the funny thing about it. It's like Looney Tunes are so on the nose that it just makes you laugh and smile inside because it reminds you of the simple times and when everything was just amusing to you as a kid. Anything would make you laugh. I mean, fucking fart jokes, the sounds of burps, things like that. Like, it's just, not saying that that's the kind of stuff that's in this movie, but the simple things, which is the lesson that LeBron has to learn throughout this thing, is as an adult and as a superior athlete in the game, he's lost his way of just enjoying the game and enjoying life, and that's his lesson that he has to learn while going through this. And the one twist that they did put on this that's different from the original is that now it's father and son facing off, which was pretty interesting because at the end of the day, everybody wants the Looney Tunes to win. We want the good guys to win, but now it's like the stakes are higher than they were in the original, and I appreciated that because it's like, how do you rehash this? How do you do this over and make it different and make me want to care and make me want to watch it? And they nailed it with that aspect of the story. I want to talk about Warner Brothers' overall mission with this. It kind of felt as though they were poking fun at themselves. They took the concept of hbomax and made it the villain of this movie. And what I mean by that is the AI, Don Cheadle, has this grand idea about a thing called Warner 3000 where it will allow the celebrity that they want to work with to be interactive within the system, within the catalog, their entire catalog. And throughout this journey, you see they give nods to every property that you could probably ever imagine. They do a quick run through with LeBron and Bugs, and they go through, you know, different properties and things like that while they're trying to assemble their team. So that's cool. But then the overall, at the end, the game, when they're actually playing, the spectators, their audience, are all major characters from all Warner Brothers properties. I'm talking about Pennywise from It, the Iron Giant, of course, King Kong. I even saw the Thundercats in the back. I saw Lionel sitting in the background. They had Scooby Doo's van was there, and the squad was there. Dino from the Flintstones. The Flintstones were there. Space Ghost was there. Mr. Freeze in his robe. It wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they brought the robe out. The guy, he was dressed as Mr. Freeze. Penguin was there. Batman, Robin, of course. Listen, any Warner Brothers property is in this thing, and they poke fun at the catalog and the fact that there's this new machine, this new thing, not HBO Max, but called Warner 3000. And I thought that was so dope because sometimes Warner can do it. Sometimes they can get it right. And the one thing that the heart of this movie, the absolute heart of this movie, was the Looney Tunes. Because they tried to do the rehash, they tried to do the revival, the reboot with these guys, but I don't think it's hitting. I don't think it's hitting like we expected it to hit, or like people wanted it to hit. So it was kind of cool to see that the Looney Tunes were kind of sat on the shelf, and he said send them to the rejects. They said in the trailer, and they send LeBron down to Toon World, and the sad thing is after the Looney Tunes have disbanded and gone their separate ways, Bugs is the only one who stuck it out and stayed in Toontown, and he's been there all by himself for all these years, and you kind of feel for him because the fandom is there. Like LeBron fanboys out when he meets Bugs. There's another scene where one of LeBron's kids sees Bugs on the basketball court during the big game, and he fanboys out. Even his son Dom, who is played by Cedric Joe, who is going against the Tunes, when he sees Bugs on the court, he even fanboys out. So it's like the respect, the level of respect for these cartoon characters that we've grown to love for so long is still there, and this movie allows you to appreciate that. Even towards the third act of the film, when the Tunes just go full on Looney mode and they get back in their zone and they come back and they do their thing. It's like, yo, how have we forgotten about this? Why are we not teaching our kids about the Looney Tunes? Because it had this sense of innocence of cartoons and stuff that it taught us a lot. It taught me a lot. I know that, and it made me appreciate those characters a lot more than like say like the Muppets. Because when they tried to come back, it was cool, but it wasn't the same. But watching the Looney Tunes back, like I wouldn't be surprised if we see them again. I won't be surprised if this really jump starts a real revival for these characters, and that we start seeing, Bugs in them all over again. The new voices, they're brilliant, they're fun, they're funny, they got them down, they got these character traits down. It's good to see the old team back together, and just doing what they do and make us laugh. I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of scenes like revolving around the Tunes, specifically Bugs, that kind of made me teary-eyed. Like I'm a big kid at heart, and seeing these characters come back and do what they do, it was just very fun and very nostalgic, and I really, really genuinely enjoyed it. The soundtrack is banging. There is a lot of dope music on the soundtrack, and they play it throughout too. So this might be even one of the ones I press play on. I haven't played a soundtrack for a movie in a very long time, but this one might definitely get some burn from me. Let's talk about the design, the overall look, the digitalization of this cartoon, or half and half, if you will. The upgrades, beautifully done. It's beautifully done. Like, it was great for them to take. They just knew how to just keep this thing and update this thing so that kids today and even adults would appreciate it without trying to stay so nostalgic. I loved the new look of Bugs and the Looney Tunes when they, got transformed into like a CGI 2021 look, and I don't know, man. Even the graphics of the game, and brilliant, just brilliant, guys. I'm ecstatic about this. I had a really fun time watching this movie. I don't care if you guys want to hate on it or not. This movie is good, arguably better than the original. I'm saying it here. I mean, you let me know. I want to know what you guys thought about this movie. If you're excited to watch it, if you're not going to be able to see it for a while, it's okay. Just come when you have and let's talk about it. I want my messages flooded with, I want to know what people think about this, because I thoroughly enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to enjoy this. Again, guys, like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, pop culture, and my podcast, CritiX Talk. And I'm also going to have a more detailed review written out on our website, like I do with all my video reviews, at wearecritics.com. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.